Oh yeah, you're a cutie. Perfect. Yay, this is cool. Okay, here we are. We did it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a special guest here today.
I can't believe how happy you are.
Do you have the energy for this?
I mean, like,
we have a special guest today. This is my best friend from home, Samantha. We are gonna do, which she's a little bit more of an expert on this topic, only because it was more recent. We're gonna do a video, as you can tell. It's not necessarily all wedding hacks. I feel like it's like wedding tips and tricks.
Yeah.
And hacks, but
Some
just
hacks.
like, yeah, some hacks. Just all the things.
Money saving things.
Mostly a lot of money saving tricks, because we're both all about that.
Google.
We've both been fairly recently married, so I feel like we have some experience on things that either we did or would have done. Or yeah, like just things that we can feel like we can shed some light on. And I think maybe what I'll do is I'll bullet point all this stuff also in like the description box, so that maybe if people don't listen, because I don't know how long this video is gonna end up.
Just read the
You cannot watch the whole thing, you can read the description if you would like.
I've watched one vlog episode.
Yeah, she's not a good friend. However,
I called it a vlogger for
long time. Honestly, I still call it a vlog around her. However, we do have a vlog, many vlogs probably from her whole weekend. She was here, she showed up and surprised me unexpectedly.
It was so fun.
We have a pretty funny, we have two different perspectives of a reaction video to that. But we've been vlogging our whole weekend and all our adventures. So,
correction, she's been vlogging.
I've been vlogging. You vlogged a few times.
I vlogged playing categories yesterday.
Yeah, she took over the camera a few times. It's probably the best part of the vlog is whenever she's vlogging, honestly. Y'all can check that out if you would like. She's a funny lady. She's a redhead.
Kind of funny.
She's a natural redhead also.
True.
Rare breed. So, without further ado, let's talk about some of our wedding tips and tricks. We have a long list, and it's really not too organized, but we're gonna try to be short and sweet so we're not blabbering forever about this stuff. So, this is a two-part thing. So I feel like a big money saver and something that people won't care about or won't notice if you don't do, and that is favors. Most people don't care about favors. If you don't do a favor, they're not gonna probably even notice that you didn't do a favor. And a lot of the favors that you will probably choose, they don't want a koozie.
They don't want your name on anything.
They definitely don't want your name on anything.
Because you can't use it.
However, if you want to do a favor, an option,
food.
Something that people actually want. Like they can take like Kaylee did moonshine.
Oh, that was a good one.
That's a good one, because obviously people would love to take home alcohol and get free alcohol.
We did pretzels. We did like Philadelphia. We're from like the Philadelphia region, so we did Philly pretzels. They were just like really thick.
Oh right,
like
soft pretzels, yeah.
Carb filled pretzels after a long night of drinking and partying. Pretzel for the drunk bus home, and everybody loved them. And they were like 20 cents maybe. We're
getting a head start on a video.
Do you want to give us your feedback on
yeah, do you want to make a cameo?
Some wedding videos, some wedding tips and tricks?
Yes. We have another special guest. This is my little sister who's also not from here. We have a lot of random guests over today. We were just talking about how like wedding favors.
What would your best if you went to a wedding and could pick what your gift would be for going?
Like a favor.
What would you pick? Like,
like what would you like to get?
Like something useful.
Funny, the young perspective.
Yeah, the unmarried also perspective.
Maybe like a keychain.
Claiming Clemson 2019. You don't care about that. That would go in my junk drawer.
Yeah.
You don't want a keychain when you're drunk. You want a pretzel.
You definitely don't want a keychain when you're drunk.
Krispy Kreme in the South. That, talk about a freaking win.
I also feel like kind of along those lines, which is another point on our list, is to take home your leftovers.
Yes.
After your wedding. Which I feel like is something most people probably wouldn't think about.
Take them home.
Your freezer's your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can even have your guests take it home too. Like if you wanted to give your guests to-go boxes, or like take donuts home or extra desserts. Did y'all have desserts left over?
No.
No, there's none left at all?
No.
Okay.
Toodles.
She has no experience in this department. She just got a cat though today. Hey.
Yeah,
yay.
and also I'm probably not going to be getting married for a solid 7 years. If there
We'll watch
are
our video if you need any tips.
Yeah.
Okay, I will. Also, if there are any takers, see this no ring on my hand.
She's available.
So.
Hit me up.
Ladies.
Hit me up.
I live in
Gentlemen.
Charleston.
Mostly gentlemen. She's single.
She's a southern gal. I don't know if they do leftovers if you do plated. They honestly probably don't.
And what did you do?
Buffet. And so if there's more left in the buffet, like of course they're gonna let you take it home because it's already made and it's just sitting out. But plated, they probably have it all back in the kitchen. They probably only made enough for the amount of plates there are.
We did a pretty big wedding. We had 180 guests. Well, for me that's big.
It's big.
And so
I had less than half
we
that.
like ate and snacked on our food. Like as we walked past our table, we just like quick grab a bite. But our venue gave us a to-go meal of
that's right,
like a secondary meal because our meal was cold and like
they know that they're not gonna actually
if you have guests, which like inevitably happens, well it did for us at least, that like don't come to your
this
wedding,
is the next thing on our
like,
list.
for whatever reason can't make it on that day, emergency, whatever, like tell your other guests
to eat their food.
take their place card, put it on the table, and eat their food, because we already paid for it. Like, we paid for your dish.
So get yourself double filet.
Still send me a gift if you don't come to my wedding. That's
really?
Yes, if I paid for your plate already.
Well, I guess if you didn't show up last minute, if you declined and you don't come, you don't have to send a gift.
I don't.
But I think you're right. If something comes up and you can't make it
yeah.
last minute, that's probably true.
I'm not trying to be selfish, but like,
well, it's the right thing to do. But yeah, if people haven't showed up to your table, eat their desserts, drink their liquor.
Please drink their liquor.
She was going around at her wedding, please drink. We paid so much money. Drink your faces off. We just want to get our money's worth.
Don't be drunk. No one likes a drunk person.
Don't be crazy, but like get your money's worth out of the liquor package for sure. So these I feel like kind of go together. I'm just going down the next list. A good money saving kind of on like the forefront of the wedding planning for sending out invitations and also even save the dates is you can do those very cheap. Sam you don't really agree about the eBays for the save the dates, did you?
I don't agree.
So I sent my save the dates via like email. We just like made a really cute little graphic and sent it to everybody's email address just because, and she did magnetic save the dates, which
we did magnets.
We still have on our fridge and we do use, and those are one of those things that are like hit or miss. Like either people are gonna keep them forever or they're gonna throw them in the trash.
Which, no, I'm not offended either way.
Right, exactly. And we keep it. It's a cute little picture. So that's one thing you can do, but that's not cheap. That's not cheap at all.
I think we paid like $1.25 per magnet.
Right, and then if you have almost 200 people,
yeah,
that adds up.
But 200 people, like usually there's couples and families, so like you're not gonna buy 200.
Right. So I did email or like Evite, save the dates, and because I feel like people, it's basically a pre-invitation. I feel like save the dates are almost kind of dumb.
Yeah.
And unnecessary. It's just traditional. It's just traditional. But then when it comes to actual invitations, this is kind of a part 2 of this tip. Make sure your return, I mean, you can actually do like RSVPs online too.
I actually just did my first RSVP online wedding and it was so great.
But also it's kind of nice, I feel like, for the couple because they probably don't have to like get all this mail and make a list. It's probably some kind of database that says like responded, not responded. You can probably even like send a reminder to respond.
And I bet it like categorizes everything for you.
In like a chart or something.
10 chickens, what I'm not 10,
right,
100
exactly.
chickens, 100 beef, whatever.
So that's a free way to get RSVPs. Or what I think we both did is we both did postcard RSVPs so that like obviously it doesn't go in an envelope. The information's all on the front and back.
Great.
But postcard stamps are like half the price.
Yeah, half the price.
If not less. And it's just easy not having to deal with envelopes and all that kind of stuff. So those are 2 ways, because invitations and like all the paper products can add up. But saves you a little bit of money. And then actually kind of another thing that we wanted to mention that goes right along with this is Anne's Bridal Bargains.
We love them.
This is not sponsored, but
they were great.
I used that and I suggested it to her, and it's a super like legit and very good quality website where you get all your save the dates, thank yous, like invitations, everything. And they have like I feel like a bajillion, literally unlimited options for whatever theme you're doing. Like if you're doing farmhouse or you're doing something more modern or you're doing something more classic, they have everything. So cheap. Like even my invitations, I didn't even go with like the cheapest because there's some that are really cheap. But it's still like mine were like 60 cents an invitation or something.
I was gonna say I think mine were like 90 cents.
Like under $1 for sure. And that includes the RSVP card, the envelope, everything, and obviously you have to buy the stamps and everything yourself. But
somebody made us a great gift, like an engagement gift, like as a stamp.
With like your return address or whatever?
Return address, because we just stamped everything and we still use it, and we've gotten like our money's.
I don't have that either.
Oh, it's so
I think I hand wrote everything, the return address, my hand was hurting.
It's a lot to write.
It is. So now kind of going more into the actual like, I feel like wedding day itself, I feel like.
Oh, we have a couple more like money saving ones. Are we on money saving?
We can do that, yeah.
So a lot of hotels will tell you that they will provide transportation for your guests, so if it's in a certain distance, and you should really just double check that before you put all your eggs in that basket, because a lot of times the hotel transportation is like a 12-passenger van. So if you have 180 guests, like,
oh, that's gonna be a lot of rounds.
It doesn't work. And I've been to weddings where like
you're waiting forever.
And you're waiting, like we've waited over an hour to get back to our hotel, and it was
that can kind of ruin the experience a little bit. Yeah.
So we did we provided transportation for our guests. So we rented school buses, like literally yellow.
I never would have thought of that.
And when we priced it out, the like limo services and charter bus services that we looked at were like gonna be upwards of like $3,000.
Did you like rent it from the school district kind of? Like, is that how it works?
So there's like bus companies, like
that just have yellow buses?
Yes, and then like the school districts contract with those companies. So we just called a company.
Skip directly to the company.
Yeah. And then it was like, I think we ended up paying like $900 for 2 shuttles.
So like a third of the price, basically.
Yep, 2 shuttles to bring our guests from the hotel.
And you get way more people.
From the hotel to the venue. Everybody was at the venue, and then at night we did like a shuttle service that left 3 times. So people who wanted to leave early could go, leave later could go, and it was.
Because you can probably fit like 80 people on a school bus, not
and that
maybe
included,
like 50.
And that included a tip. Like we tipped the drivers, you know,
and it was
for
under
their time.
1,000.
It was like $900.
So that's I feel like that's
great
a good tip.
money saving tip.
Yeah, it's just it's another thing you don't have to do, but if you are gonna do it, there's a cheap way to do it.
Also, it's funny because I'm a teacher, so like a school
Oh
bus
yeah,
was a
that
little
is kind of
inappropriate.
cute. One thing that I did that was a money saver, and I don't think every venue has this option, but most places I feel like will have discounted either per person, or like my place wasn't per person, it was just a price based on the day. But getting married on a Friday or Sunday. I feel like Sundays are a little uncommon, but they're cheaper. They're the cheapest of the 3. Most places will only do weddings Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, obviously.
Right.
But Sundays kind of suck because people have to go to work the next day, and so that's not ideal, but it's the cheapest of the 3 days. We did a Friday because it was like the 2nd cheapest, so we saved a lot of money, and the only thing that kind of is unfortunate is some people might either have to take off work that day or take a half day to get to where they're going in time if your ceremony starts at like 3 or 4, like a lot of weddings do. So you're kind of inconveniencing people a little bit, but I mean, typically for the amount of money saving that you get, and like if people have to take a half day or a day off once in a blue moon, people don't mind, especially to go to a wedding. A wedding's a big deal. So we got married on a Friday, and it was in May. So like typically, yeah, out of season, like before June, and then after like September.
Yeah.
Right? Would you say?
October.
Yeah.
We were in wedding season. We were
right. Something like the end of September and like the beginning of June. That's like the range. So getting married outside of season, but like May or even October are still nice times of year.
Yeah.
They're just not as common. So you can definitely save money picking a different day and a different month. And another money saving one actually is this one. This was actually what I did. Her little sister actually was my florist.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit actually not what I was going to mention, but still worth mentioning. If you can find friends or family or friends of family that have even like a little bit of talent, that they can just do it. Because a florist, I don't even know how much a florist plus the flowers would have cost.
We were quoted at like $3,000 when we went to like a florist, which obviously they can do amazing work. And if flowers are,
and they have the experience and all that.
If they're like an important factor for you, then you know you're gonna be happy to spend the money. But to
you
me,
have to remember that the flowers die.
They die
immediately, and majority of them end up in the garbage. You might, you know, save your own bouquet, but for the most part, it's a very like passing cost, and I didn't want to spend a lot of money on flowers, as pretty as they are, and they definitely add a lot of ambiance. So we both ordered our flowers on Sam's Club or Costco or whatever, just like a wholesale website where you can get tons, like huge bulk amounts of flowers shipped fresh. You can pick your delivery date. You can even like pick your window time, I think.
Yeah. So
you can get a very specific fresh delivery of flowers. And then her little sister had always kind of had an interest in like floral stuff anyway, and like, what do they call it? Botany? Botanical? Is there a name for that? Horticulture. Yes. So she was really good at that, and I mean, I kind of like hired her on kind of a whim, and just kind of like, I wasn't really expecting a ton but I also didn't care that much. She did an amazing job. All of our bouquets look so good. She took it very seriously, and so we still paid her well, but it was way less than we would have paid a professional, and because we bought the flowers ourselves directly from the source, we saved like literally probably paid a quarter of the amount that we would have paid if we had hired someone. And same for her. So if you have anyone that can even like just throw together some arrangements and you're not super picky, you can probably even just, if you want to do it yourself, just like YouTube it. I don't feel like it's like the biggest, most important part of the wedding. So
for us it wasn't. For some people who have like very elaborate,
well,
you know, like archery
drapery,
you need a professional. Like that's hard to do.
Speaking of flowers, the thing that I did is rather than also just buying so many flowers and having like a ton of vases everywhere full, I still wanted to be very like a lot of floral presents. So what I had all my bridesmaids do is after the ceremony was over, we had like a little map, and there was like a little vase of water waiting to receive their bouquets. So after we were done, they just knew where to go. They're like, your bouquet goes here, your bouquet goes here. And so I think it was even before guests came in, like nobody would have even seen that it was empty. They just plopped the bouquet into a little vase like throughout the room, and it was automatically like a centerpiece or like a little decorative piece.
Because what do you do?
Because otherwise you're just leaving it on the table next to you, on the floor next to you. It's just sitting there probably getting trampled on. You might as well use all the work and money that went into it and repurpose it somewhere decoratively. And
just put it on like a guest book table or by the cake table.
Yeah, which is exactly what we did.
We put some on, like we crossed them at your head table.
At my head table. And kind of going along the lines of hiring people you know, or like not even hiring them. But since obviously I do YouTube and I'm good with video, to whatever degree I'm good with video and editing, I videotaped her wedding for her. And
so sweet.
What you can have someone do, like it's just on a very basic level, is even if you don't have a videographer, which those are like at least $5,000. So expensive. At least have someone just videotape your vows.
Yeah.
So at least you can rewatch just like, or maybe just your ceremony in general.
Yeah.
Just even if it's just on their phone, like I feel like you would just at least wanted to have it documented in some way. So even if it's just on their phone, or if they have like a little point and shoot camera, just so you at least have your ceremony, your vows to look back on. But what I did is, and y'all might have seen it, it's already on my channel, I like edited together. We watched it yesterday, and I was just, I love this. It's like the thing I'm most proud of. But I edited together her whole video for her and just kind of like made, I mean, it wasn't like one of those 3 to 5 minute videos. It was a little bit longer and more involved, but I feel like it really
could have made it 3 to 5 if you, like, I mean, it would have been
if I didn't include as much as I thought you wanted to have.
Right.
So if you even have someone that can just like videotape certain parts of it, and even if you just edit it together yourself and people can just get some raw footage and share it with you, I think that's something that's like so worth having.
It's honestly like more meaningful knowing that like someone that I've known for like literally 25 years has made it, which is a very long time.
Yeah, when you mentioned that yesterday, I was like, shit, we haven't known each other for way too long.
Head, but I couldn't. But it's just really special to have like someone do that. Like I did, and I am no hairstylist. Look at this mess. But like I did your hair for your wedding.
She's done my hair for all my proms.
Saved so much money.
Weddings.
She did my makeup for my wedding, and like
your whole party pretty much.
Yeah, and and that was just so like,
because you can spend a ton of it. She granted everyone else in my party did their own hair and makeup because I had a very small bridal party. Just have people help you out.
Yeah.
If you're a low maintenance bride, this is gonna be like the best place to save money. And then all the money you're saving on these kind of things, you can spend somewhere else, in somewhere that you might think is more important, like maybe your cake, or maybe like a photo booth, or something else that's more important to you than like how your eyeshadow is.
They're just really sweet memories that we really love. Another like money saving but also like vendor
that even I didn't do, that I kind of wish I did,
kind of event was we one of my friends did it actually in her wedding. We made her boutonnieres out of fake flowers, and you honestly can't tell. Go watch the wedding video, you don't know that they're fake. But I could make them in advance. I didn't want to be stressed like the week of my wedding with real flowers.
Having to preserve them and make sure they stay alive.
Too much work. I think for like all of it, the clips, the hot glue, flowers, all the stuff to wrap it, I think I ended up paying like $6 for 12 boutonnieres.
So $2 a boutonniere. I almost wish I had done that. We didn't even do boutonnieres.
Yeah.
There's another thing you can just actually skip if you want to. We didn't do boutonnieres or corsages because I feel like that's a little bit, it's very traditional, but it's also like very just like kind of, I feel like a little bit outdated. And again, did anyone notice that they didn't have boutonnieres? I highly doubt it. Don't like feel pressured to have stuff just because guests might be expecting it or something.
It's about the promise, not the party.
But even also along those lines, it's also just a party. And it's also just a celebration. And so it's also just, it's not like this like world ending event. It's just a party to celebrate your marriage. And so like it sometimes seems to feel like it's more than that, and it's like almost like a performance and a production. It's literally just to get together to celebrate and eat and drink and everyone just be so excited for you. And so it's hard to think of it that way because there's like 8,000 little micro details that go into it, but at the end of the day, like she said, it's about something bigger than the party, but what you're planning is just a party.
Things are gonna go wrong, so just accept it and move on.
Right. Well, speaking of vendors, this is, I mean, I feel like most vendors already kind of give you a payment plan breakdown in advance.
Yeah.
You almost don't, at least a lot of times, don't need to ask for it. But if for any reason, yeah, exactly. Like you can always pay your vendors in installments. And I guess it also depends how far away your wedding is. But every vendor, for the most part, if they don't offer it, I'm sure you can suggest it. Always do a little payment plan. You don't have to write like a $6,000 check to your caterer as soon as you book them. You usually give them a little money to secure them, and then sometimes, depending on how far away your wedding is, you can even make it in like 4 or multiple installments. Like it's, no matter how much money you have, it's always just like softens the blow a little bit to be able to just slowly chip away at things. She was saying she actually still had some payments even after the wedding that she used the wedding gift money for.
We understand that people like depend on that gift money to like pay for this. Correct.
Like don't spend all your money and assume you're gonna get all your gifts. Obviously, you need to have a nest egg for any of the residual, but you can definitely probably offer that as an option if you like don't think that you're gonna be able to like front all the money in advance. Sam just kind of revealed this, a really good way to save money on your rings, which I mean you can get very expensive or very expensive rings and it doesn't matter. Where's your wedding band from?
So
not the engagement ring.
Engagement ring my husband like
designed.
Built and designed with a jeweler, but we like obviously because it's a very unique ring, we couldn't find like a band.
It wasn't like mine literally came with the band,
right? Ours
pre-picked out. Mine literally just bought the set.
Didn't come with that. I couldn't find anything that like fit that I liked, and I was like, we're gonna have to go back and get it custom done. Like I just kept seeing like dollar signs.
Yeah.
So I happened to be scrolling through Kohl's.com
as we do,
trying to spend that Kohl's cash, and I found this ring, and I have some like leaves, like little, oh dear,
there you go.
So I have some like little leaf work on the side, and I really wanted a band that had like
similar
some texture and some leaves to it. So I happened to just be on Kohl's. Is this gonna focus? What are we doing? Oh, hello. I was on Kohl's and I saw it and I was like, this is a gamble, but I'm gonna try.
Well, because worst case, you just bring it back and return it.
You just bring it back to the store.
Refund, yeah.
So I bought it on Kohl's, and I think it was like over $1,000, and then
not cheap.
Not cheap, no. And I like had 30% off, and then I had 15% off of whatever, and stack the coupons, and then I bought it when I got Kohl's cash. So I literally got all this Kohl's cash back from buying my wedding band, and when I got it, I loved it. I was like, this is perfect. But yeah, and I took it to like a jeweler and got it appraised because I was like, did I just get scammed?
Yeah.
And I totally did not get scammed.
And you probably get like $500 in Kohl's cash.
So much Kohl's cash.
You can buy yourself a Dyson vacuum.
Right.
I almost wish I had done that because like we bought mine and got nothing for it and no discount on it. So like I almost feel like you're smarter than everybody else that's getting it. Another thing, this is not quite so much a money saver, but I think it's just a smarter, a more useful way of doing something. And
wait, can we pause?
Yes.
Back on wedding bands for a hot second. My husband got his wedding band at Manly Bands, not sponsored, but they were freaking great. Like
Manly Band, I never heard of that.
It was like super affordable. We didn't have to go through a jeweler. Their return policy was great because we did have to return it for like a sizing purpose. It was so great.
Well, actually, kind of speaking of that, we can transition to our tuxes and our suits or whatever.
Oh yes.
We did basically the same thing for my husband and for all his groomsmen. I think it's called Black Tux. .com, and they rented. She's a firm believer in buying, which we'll get to, and I definitely don't disagree with that. But for the purposes of our groomsmen, like we didn't want to obviously obligate anyone to buy anything. We wanted to have the option to rent. And Ken wasn't necessarily so sold because we did like light gray. It wasn't necessarily a suit that he wanted to own. So we found it online, again, not sponsored. I can put some links to this stuff too in the description box, but it was such an easy process to rent. It was very affordable. It was like quick shipping. Everyone gets at least like one try on and like return, like free return, and they'll ship you a new size. It's a really good service. Everyone can just use the same link, and you can like even email out directly from the website, so everyone gets the direct link. They can just put their size in, and I actually think if you need alterations to it, you can upload your receipt and they will refund you the cost of any alterations, like if you had to get them hemmed and stuff.
Right. So when we were in the hunt for wedding stuff, we had gone to Men's Warehouse because again, like those chains, if people don't live close by, it's very easy to like get your bridal party to
it's a convenience. You're paying for convenience factor.
Right. But it was expensive to rent suits from Men's Warehouse, but we used Men's Warehouse on like a Black Friday deal, and we locked in a suit and a suit price, and then our groomsmen
got to still get that price.
Yes. Well, no
that's also probably that's probably a good hack, is purposely try to like get your agreement
and lock that stuff in.
Yeah, on like a sale.
You buy your bridal party a gift. We bought them like their watch, their tie, and then their shirts as just a gift.
Kind of to like supplement the cost.
That price. But I think an even better hack that I would do again if I ever did this again, which I will not be doing this again.
Neither of us particularly enjoyed our wedding. That's a whole planning. Speaking of favors, a little hack that I did that you can do in a lot of different ways is one of the things. I gave them a few different things in like their little bridesmaid goodie bag. Oh yeah, not favors.
Thank yous.
Well, kind of like thank yous to your bridal party, like how she gave watches and dress shirts. I gave them like a few little things, but one thing was like a Bath and Body Works candle. But what I did is I don't even think I took the label off, but I bought little labels that said like thank you for being my maid of honor, thank you for being my bridesmaid, and they were really like pretty. It was like really kind of elegant, and I put it, and it said like thank you for being my bridesmaid, Samantha and Kaylee and Kaylin, and it was very customized. And so when someone opens that, they're like, oh my gosh, like my name is on this candle. It's like a perfectly customized label. You can put your wedding colors on it. But yeah, you can put it on a candle label, you can put it on a wine bottle. There's like kind of 1,000 different things that you could do with something customized, but you don't have to go buy a custom like bottle or a customized candle online and spend like $60 per candle. You can just go buy like a $15 candle, and then buy a $3 label, and it just like obviously takes it to the next level in terms of customization, and people just appreciate that. But Etsy has all the things, and you can
honestly, Amazon does too.
Amazon too, but it feels more special. The thing that I was gonna say that we both did this, and we both love that we did this, is everyone has a guest book. Again, I kind of feel like a guest book is a little bit of like an outdated tradition that doesn't serve a huge purpose, but I don't think anyone should actually use a guest book. I feel like an actual guest book is like kind of dumb and useless, and people are gonna fill it out and then you're gonna put it on the shelf and you're never gonna look at it. So we both did like decor pieces. So actually she had something almost like this thing over her head, kind of similar to that, but it had like a tree. And it was like made out of like steel or whatever, and I did something similar, but ours is just an A, like a steel letter A, and we just let people sign their name and like write a little message or whatever on that, and it's hanging up in our house now. I have ours upstairs in the master bathroom.
So close.
Hey, where's yours?
Ours is in our living room. It's hanging over our like love seat.
So it still looks cute as a decorative piece, but also it's something that you're gonna actually get use out of. It actually has some value. You can like look at it, and it, like whenever you kind of like actually notice it, it like is special to you, and you get like a double use out of it. Like you have something from your wedding hanging on your wall, which there's not a lot of things from your wedding that you can display after the fact.
Yeah. Something kind of fun that my husband and I did, and we saw it at another wedding. We like made a time capsule for our wedding, but honestly, like the shorter that your ceremony can be, the better, because people just lose interest.
My ceremony was 7 minutes.
Ours was probably
10,
and people just want to like keep moving. So neither of us got married in churches. We got married at our venues. So we did a time capsule, which was really fun. So in our time capsule, where my like hair piece that I wore at my wedding, we put that in there. And then as like a fun little tidbit, we asked our bridal party and our parents and our grandparents to write us a note
that you haven't read yet.
That we haven't read yet. So they wrote it at our rehearsal dinner, and then they wrote us these cute little notes and sealed them, and then we put them in our time capsule. So we're gonna open it in 10 years. So at 10 years, we're gonna be able to open it and like see all these like fun memories from our wedding. And we put the like we downloaded the video that you sent us onto like a thumb drive.
Oh, that's
who knows
cute.
if thumb drives will even be a thing in 10 years.
Yeah, are there gonna be anywhere to plug them in?
Just to be able to like rewatch it in
I
10
can't wait
years.
to see when you open this, like what it's gonna be.
I know,
like.
me
That's
too.
Very important.
This is the guest list was the most stressful
For
part.
some people that's hard. For us it wasn't
was so
that
hard.
difficult. We had 70 people.
So hard.
And
it was so hard.
It was plenty.
It was so
But
hard.
you need to just, was it hard?
It was so hard.
But making a +1 rule and
stick with it.
Don't let there be any exceptions to the +1 rule. For us, it was either living together, engaged, or married. Like basically like very...
Of which I met none of those requirements. At least have a rule that you can tell people like, oh, this is my rule, I'm really sorry. Like obviously you can make exceptions, but on the greater whole, like you'll be shocked who people will literally ask you for +1s, and I'm like,
just so they can bring a friend or like a buddy or something, and like that +1 is gonna cost me another $70 to $100. But you also probably don't want a lot of strangers at your wedding. I think we're actually getting close to being like done with this list.
I know, I can't believe it. Like in the flower department, or like decor, I guess, department, you don't have to use flowers.
Whatever you do use,
repurpose it.
Don't spend a lot of money.
Don't. Yeah. And just like even ask your friends for stuff that they've used, because if
other people have gotten married recently, they probably have a ton of stuff.
Bought 125 of these things. I could have borrowed them from you for free.
Yeah, that's a huge money saver.
Just share. No one knows. Even if your friends go to the same 2 weddings, like
no one cares. No one cares. All right, y'all.
Just one other thing that enjoy your day. It's about you and your partner or your spouse or your husband or whatever.
The bottom line
is it's your day. And something sweet that we did like right after we walked back down the aisle after getting married was we went into a room and had just 2 minutes of like peace and quiet, because the whole day is not peace and quiet.
Decompression time.
Decompress time to be like, wow, we just made this huge commitment. This is great.
See, it makes it a little less stressful for a moment, and then the stress is back in. But that is going to be it. I feel like this might have been a very incredibly long video. But I hope that this was helpful. I
won't be back, so this is all you've got.
She might be back. She's always in the vlogs. She's back in the vlogs. But thank you guys so much for watching. We hope that you enjoyed, and
happy wedding planning.
I'll see you in our next video, and happy wedding planning. Bye, guys. Okay, perfect.